It was a sunny Saturday afternoon, and the streets of Beverly Hills were alive with the hum of engines, the glint of luxury cars, and the chatter of people trying to catch a glimpse of something extraordinary. But no one, not even the most seasoned car enthusiast, could have anticipated what was about to unfold that day. She was alone, a striking figure stepping out of a brand new cherry red Lamborghini Aventador. Her name was Tasha Monroe, a woman in her late 20s with a reputation for quiet ambition. She wasn't flaunting her success. She simply loved cars, and this one was her dream made tangible. Yet, as soon as she parked, a group of men approached, jeers in their eyes, malice in their stride. "You really think you belong here?" One of them sneered, circling her with a predatory air of someone used to intimidating anyone who dared cross their invisible line. Tasha felt the tension spike in her chest. Her instinct told her to leave, but there was a strange resolve in her eyes. She wasn't going to run. Not this time. As the confrontation escalated, one of the bullies, a tall man in a leather jacket, reached for her car door, tapping it aggressively. "You shouldn't be driving this, not someone like you." His words were venomous, laced with a prideful hatred that made the hair on her neck stand up. But then, something unexpected happened. Tasha smiled. Not a nervous smile, not a smile of fear, but a knowing, calculated smile that sent an unsettling chill down the bully's spines. "I think you're confused," she said slowly, voice calm but sharp. "I earned this, and I'm not leaving." The group hesitated for just a moment, and that was enough, because what came next would set off a chain of events that no one saw coming. Just as the tension reached its peak, a witness appeared, a man in a suit, seemingly just passing by, who started filming with his phone. But here's the thing. His behavior was odd. He wasn't panicking like any normal passerby would. Instead, he was smirking, muttering something under his breath, almost like he was waiting for this exact moment to happen. Then one of the bullies lunged, but instead of grabbing her, he slipped, almost theatrically, right into a puddle at the curb. The timing was uncanny. Too perfect. Tasha's calm demeanor didn't falter. She stepped aside, leaving the scene like a chess master moving a piece across the board, watching how the game would unfold. As the bullies scrambled to recover, a quiet, almost imperceptible voice came from Tasha's phone, which she had discreetly placed on the dashboard. "They don't know what's coming." Her heart pounded, but her mind was sharp. Little did anyone know, this wasn't just a confrontation over a car. It was the beginning of a meticulously planned exposure, one that would shake Beverly Hills and the world to its core. The blacked-out SUV rolled to a stop, tires crunching against the sun-baked asphalt. Tasha's pulse quickened, not with fear, but with the cold clarity of someone who had been here before. The door opened, and out stepped a man, tall, imposing, with a presence that made the air feel heavier. His eyes locked on hers, and for a second, it felt like time had stopped. His name was Dante Rivers, a name she hadn't spoken aloud in over 10 years. He was someone who had haunted her youth, someone whose betrayal had almost destroyed her. And now he was here, in the middle of Beverly Hills, looking like he'd stepped out of a nightmare she had long thought was over. "Long time, Tasha," Dante said smoothly, a smirk playing on his lips. But there was something beneath the surface, something darker, more dangerous than she remembered. What made this encounter even more unnerving was that Dante wasn't alone. In the shadows behind him, she caught glimpses of men in black, bystanders she hadn't noticed, watching, recording, maybe even waiting for a signal. The strange thing? They didn't approach her. They didn't threaten her. They just observed. It was orchestrated, carefully. Then, the bullies from earlier, the ones who had been harassing her over her Lamborghini, began to whisper among themselves. Confusion flickered across their faces. "Do you know him?" one muttered nervously. But Tasha didn't answer. Her mind raced, calculating. Dante's presence wasn't random. This wasn't a coincidence. Without breaking eye contact, Tasha reached into her pocket and tapped her phone. The device activated a live feed, broadcasting the entire scene to a private channel she had set up weeks earlier. Within seconds, dozens of eyes, all trained on the city's underground news networks, were watching this live. "You see, Dante," she said, voice calm but icy, "everything you ever try to hide is about to be revealed." His smirk faltered for the briefest moment. A shadow of uncertainty crossed his face, but only for a moment. He was still dangerous, still calculating, still a threat. The roar of the armored car echoed like a war drum, and before Tasha could react, it surged toward the scene, tires screeching against the pavement. Dante's men jumped into action, pulling weapons, but Tasha stayed perfectly still, her mind racing faster than her heartbeat. Then, in a move that left everyone around her stunned, she sprinted to her Lamborghini, slammed the door, and fired up the engine. The Aventador growled like a beast awakened, and with a flash of red against sunlight, she launched into the street, tires spinning, leaving clouds of dust in her wake. The armored vehicle pursued, crushing everything in its path, while Dante's men scrambled into their own cars. It was chaos. Cars weaving, horns blaring, and glass shattering as bystanders scattered in every direction. But here's the first shock. One of the bullies, the leather-jacketed man who had harassed her earlier, suddenly appeared behind the wheel of a sleek sports car, cutting dangerously across lanes to intercept her. He looked furious, almost as if he had a personal vendetta against her. Yet his driving was reckless enough to suggest he was desperate, not skilled. Then another twist. Tasha's phone buzzed with an incoming video feed. She glanced down, heart skipping a beat. Someone had hacked the live feed she had set up, and now, unknown observers were watching her every move, calculating, analyzing, waiting. Whoever they were, this chase wasn't just about intimidation. It was a test. Tasha's hand tightened on the wheel. Years of planning, years of quiet observation had led to this moment. Using the Aventador's launch control, she executed a sharp, near-impossible maneuver, sliding around a corner that sent one of Dante's men spinning into a median. She glanced in the rear-view mirror. The armored car wasn't slowing. In fact, it was gaining. Then she did something no one expected. She triggered a remote device she had installed in the car earlier, a device that released a series of smoke screens and blinding lights. The armored vehicle swerved violently, tires screeching, while the bully's car skidded off to the side. For the first time, Tasha had the advantage. Tasha's fingers hovered over the phone, staring at the chilling message. Her heart pounded, not from fear, but from the realization that someone close to her had been feeding information to Dante all along. She had trusted this person, confided in them, shared pieces of her journey, and now it seemed all of it had been weaponized against her. The streets of Beverly Hills blurred as she maneuvered the Aventador through narrow alleys, darting between vehicles, her mind racing. Every turn, every distraction was calculated, but the betrayal gnawed at her focus. Who could have done this? Who had the audacity and the access to undermine her so thoroughly? Then it hit her. A flash of memory, a slip of a phrase, the way someone had casually commented days ago. Her eyes widened in disbelief. It was one of her closest allies, someone she had worked alongside for years in her small team, helping whistleblowers and exposing corporate corruption. The one person she had never suspected. Before she could react, her phone buzzed again. A video message. Dante's face filled the screen. "Surprise, Tasha," he sneered, a smug satisfaction in his voice. "Did you really think you were the only one playing this game? Your little web of justice, it's all been laid bare. And now you're outnumbered and alone." Rising tension slashed near-death scenario. As she processed betrayal, the armored car, previously stalled by her smoke device, roared back into pursuit, relentless, unforgiving. Dante's men flanked her from both sides, engines growling like predators closing in on prey. For the first time, Tasha felt the weight of the moment. One wrong move and everything she had built, all the evidence, all the justice she had planned, could vanish in an instant. Her mind raced. Options dwindled. But giving up was never an option. She remembered a hidden route, a narrow tunnel under an abandoned warehouse, a path only she knew. With a sharp turn, she dove into the darkness, tires squealing, barely clearing the entrance as bullets pinged off the walls around her. The tunnel echoed with a mechanical click, reverberating through Tasha's chest. She froze, heart hammering, mind calculating every possibility in milliseconds. The figure emerging from the shadows was unexpected. Someone she had trusted even more than her ally who had betrayed her. And now, they stood there, holding a device capable of shutting down everything she had built, erasing evidence, and perhaps even ending her life. "Thought you could outsmart us?" the figure taunted, voice dripping with malice. But Tasha's eyes were icy, unwavering. Every step she had taken, every plan she had meticulously laid, had prepared her for this. Suddenly, Dante's voice rang through the tunnel from speakers hidden in the armored car. "Tasha, it's over. You've been outplayed." But she was already 3 steps ahead. She hit a hidden button on her phone. The live feed she had activated days before, the one that had been secretly monitored and hacked by enemies, suddenly backfired spectacularly. Within seconds, the broadcast flipped. Dante and his network were now exposed live to the same underground networks he had used to manipulate and intimidate others. His men froze, realizing the tide had shifted, their carefully orchestrated plans crumbling in real time. Tasha lunged forward, swiftly disarming the person with the device in a move so precise it seemed choreographed. In one fluid motion, she disabled the gadget, securing her evidence. Every betrayal, every malicious scheme, every cover-up Dante had orchestrated was now vulnerable. Standing in the tunnel, surrounded by chaos but holding the truth in her hands, Tasha realized the ultimate lesson. Strength isn't only measured by muscle or wealth. It's measured by courage, foresight, and the willingness to stand firm even when the world doubts you. The bullies, the betrayers, the manipulators, they were all powerless against someone who had mastered patience and strategy. Her Lamborghini sat at the tunnel entrance, gleaming defiantly under the dim light filtering in. She didn't need to prove anything to anyone. Her triumph wasn't flashy. It was silent, smart, and devastatingly effective. Subscribe for more interesting and powerful stories.